Before I start, I wanted to tell you that the uncolored image of this gold frame will be available in the information box below the video, so you can download it yourself and color along with this instructional video. I also wanted to say that the image is from the Buns Artist Edition, and I will be using Bruynzeel design pencils, but you don't have to. All the links for all the products that I'm going to use in this video will also be below, and I'm also going to add some color combos from different companies like Polychromos, Prisma, so you can use those pencils if you already have them. So the first thing I want to tell you is that I only used 3 colors on this whole image. And if you don't have Bruynzeel pencils, it's perfectly fine, because all you need is a kind of intense, almost like a mustardy gold yellow, which I don't know if you can tell, I covered the entire frame with, and I wasn't neat at all because I wanted there to be some lighter areas and some darker areas, because just like in the frame, it would it would have some reflections, would have some lighter gold areas and darker gold areas. The color that I'm using there is kind of a, I was going to say sepia, but it's not. It's almost like a reddish brown. And I would suggest that you use a reddish brown too, because I don't know why, but it lends itself to a more realistic gold look. And then I also chose a very chocolatey, neutral brown, which is what you see there. You know what? It's not actually chocolatey. It's more like a true dark brown. There's no red in it, there's no orange in it. It's a really intense brown. So chocolate, maybe very dark chocolate. Now you can see that I'm making those 2 lines going up and down the side of the frame, and anywhere you see me using the other 2 colors, meaning other than a yellow, I'm creating what will be the shadows in the image. And at first, as always, I'm always tentative. I'm not quite sure what the image is going to look like, so I'm carefully going back and forth and trying to figure out what's going to actually be dark, what's going to be recessed, so any of the darker areas, which is what I'm doing now, will be recessed and it'll look like it's in a shadow. So the yellow line that I left going down the center will look like it's popping up, or it's more like a bump in the frame. The frame itself, although it's swirly around the edges, it looks relatively plain, so I wanted to add detail to make it look like there's more dimension to it. And as you can see, I will be going back and forth over and over and over again. And I wanted to leave that in there. Sorry about that. Because I wanted you to see that it isn't just the first go round. You don't get great results, and there are some phases of your image that look pretty bad, and you kind of have to just push past it, and you kind of have to be able to say, you know what, maybe I'm just not done yet. So at this point, I'm going back and forth between the reddish brown and the brown, and like I said before, just picking and choosing what areas are gonna have shadows. Now, in the carrots, when I first put the yellows down, I was thinking those carrots should be orange. And then I changed my mind, so I erased them a little bit, but as you can see, there's still a slight bit of orange there, and that's okay. I'm just going to leave them there. And it worked out actually kind of nice at the end. They sort of look a little brassy or coppery. So now you can see there's a little bit more intensity happening at this point, and that center area, since the areas around it are a little darker, So you're building up the shadows so the lights look even more apparent. So right now as I'm recording this, I'm sitting in my living room and I'm staring at a picture by Cezanne, and it's surrounded by a gold frame and it's directly underneath a light, and I realize that there's not really any pure white reflections on this. It's a lot of burnished gold. It's got some of that mustard color in it. It's got some of the reddish brown, dark brown, and that's about it. So I thought it was really cool to be able to say I only used three colors, and you will too, to do this entire relatively realistic looking gold frame. Now I'm taking my time, although it's sped up here. I took my time trying to figure out which areas were going to be recessed. So the areas next to the swirls ended up to be relatively dark. Oh, and the other thing that I did was I went over all of the black lines twice. Once with the dark brown and once with the reddish brown, because that also made it look more burnished and golden. So the only thing I really added to this was that um, kind of the raised area next to the flowers going up and down next to the mat. Um, you can do anything you want. You can add circles, and the only thing I could recommend is that gradually go from the darkest to the lightest. So if there's a really dark area, slowly go from the very dark to the lighter, lighter, lighter until you get to the very light yellow gold. Then I did exactly the same thing on all the sides, and at this point you can tell the difference between the left side, which I pretty much almost completely colored, and the right side. Now here's the finished frame, and you can see the the differences in the colors. So the areas that look dark are a combination of the yellow, the reddish brown, and the brown. And you can also see certain areas have a much darker area even over the lighter parts, because I wanted it to kind of look like maybe it was a little antiqued, or it was an older frame. And that's about it. I recreated the left side just like the right side, and I just copied all the way around. There are some areas that are a little darker because I thought maybe there was a shadow involved, and that's fine too. It doesn't all have to be perfect, and I prefer it that way. I don't like it when it's all exactly the same. I like it a little rough around the edges. And oh, and you can see those carrots. They don't look orange anymore. They fit with the frame perfectly. So that's about it for now. I hope that you liked this video. I hope you liked the way this came out. I thought it was really fun, and I think it looks pretty legit. It looks pretty gold, and it makes for a really nice background for any of your images. So you can recreate this yourself and you can go from there. So that's it. You can see my little royal bunny picture there, and I hope you like this. And if you did, I hope you give me a thumbs up and possibly a share. And thanks to everybody who is a member of my Facebook coloring group, and to anyone who subscribed here, to who's already subscribed here. I really appreciate it. So I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you soon with more videos. Thank you again. Bye. Oh, and one last thing. I did use a Prismacolor colorless blender to blend everything. See you later. Bye.